What's up, Tweeners? Welcome back to another Tweener tennis video today here on the channel. Today we have a very special video and interview with Yulia, who was an ODU, Old Dominion University Conference Player of the Year, an All-American, took out the #1 player in singles in her college career, and now rising in the rankings so fast. She's already almost top 200 in the world. She's played non-stop this year, and she's already in that possibility of making qualifying for this year's US Open. And we are so lucky to have her on. We met her a couple years ago when we did our college tennis tour at Old Dominion not too long ago, but we are very excited to bring you this interview, being a player from Ukraine as well, and what it's been like to go through that with something going on in her country. And we can't wait to share this experience with you. But before we start, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and we are so close because 90% of you aren't subscribed. Hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and now enjoy our interview with top 250 in the world, Yulia. Well, Yulia, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. It's not every day that you get to have a multi-CUSA conference champion beating a #1 player in the country in singles and doubles and being a player of the year. So we really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure. Thank you.
She's joining us from a pro tournament in Pennsylvania right now. And thankfully it wasn't that far away from her. So it was easy for her to drive there. But Yulia, how did you get to this point from the pro tour? You're training in New York, correct?
Yes, I train upstate New York near the Westchester area.
And how did you pick New York as your home base for training?
I was finishing my sport management master's in ODU, and I had to complete my internship for sports management, and so I found a job at a Westchester Country Club where I could complete my internship and still earn money during the summer, so I could complete my degree and, save some for the future.
Oh, that's amazing. And now
Yeah, and I ended up staying there. Yeah.
but actually that worked out really well for you at this point,
Yeah.
because now you're on tour. You just won another 25K title in Dallas
60.
with 60, excuse me. This is why. I knew it would be good to have you on because you can just put me in my place every time I say something. So her biggest title of her career, you've won 3 ITF singles titles, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that I got correct. But her biggest one as of date is a 60K in Dallas, which puts her on the cusp of the top 200 in the world. Does that ranking mean anything to you, or is it just a number and you're focusing on playing well in tournaments?
At first I was just focusing on playing well at tournaments, but once that my last ranking came in, which is 200, that actually meant a lot because that put me on a qualifying draw for the US Open this year.
Wow. So that's a big, for those of you that don't understand or that are listening or have not heard about what it means to just be in the top 200, how many people are in the qualifying draw usually for a Grand Slam?
I believe 128.
And that's before main draw, correct?
Yes.
So it's a matter of making enough money to just be in the Grand Slam, because I feel like not a lot of people understand that you at least have to be 200 to at least make qualifying.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I think the cut last year was around 328 to make it to US Open or something like that. Yeah.
And now you're clearly ready and thinking about that too. From your perspective,
I said it wrong. 228. My bad.
220. No, okay.
328 is too many people. Yeah.
328 is too much. 228 sounds more realistic, but
yeah.
For you now, kind of looking at that spot in that ranking and going, oh, I can actually make the US Open this year. What does that mean to you?
Oh, that's huge because I mean, to be honest, I didn't expect to. I kind of obviously I wanted to, but I didn't know I would make a Grand Slam my first year playing professionally.
Hmm.
My first tournament that my first pro tournament was in around February, March.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, at that point I had no ranking at all,
Hmm.
and it was in Texas. It was a 25K. It was my first title as well. I had to
Hmm.
play a wildcard tournament before that, and had to win that tournament to just play the 25K. And
Hmm.
I won the 25K, and it put me on my first ranking in a system which was 612. And
Hmm.
at that time, I was really happy about it because it's a big jump right away.
Hmm.
But now, yeah, it's a much bigger picture now. I'm making it to 200 in a half a year is more than I could wish for, you know?
And in you having a successful college career, not everyone can say that they've accomplished as much as you did in completing 4 years at a college. Four, five,
Five.
five because of COVID, correct?
Yes, I took an extra year and I decided to do my master degree.
Okay, at ODU.
Yes, yes.
So, and I feel like, and I keep saying this, but not a lot of people understand that there's a difference between going pro and going to college straight out of high school. And for
Yeah.
someone to have that much success in college so early on, too, and to not go pro immediately, what made you stay at college versus going pro and quote unquote dropping out?
It's hard to say. I mean, I don't I don't know, maybe you think I had a great career, but to
you
me
don't
at
you don't
first,
think you had a good career at ODU?
I think my last 2 years were my best years. To be honest,
Okay.
they kind of showed me that I could actually play on a pro level.
Okay.
But at the start, I was also like, I was 17 and I didn't have enough resources to go and travel by myself and
Okay.
find a place to live and pay for all of that.
Hmm.
And I feel like coming out of college, being 22 years old, you have a much more mature head on your
Hmm.
shoulders. And I had kind of a financial base, at least a little bit,
Hmm.
because I worked that summer and I worked the previous summer, and I felt a bit more safe.
Hmm.
And I knew my parents couldn't help me with that. So it was, I didn't even think about dropping out of college at that point. It was just like, I just thought about doing as good as I can in college at least. So people maybe notice me and maybe I'll get some sponsors in the future. Yeah, that was kind of the main goal. Tennis was always a priority, but having 2 degrees is also not a bad safety, net.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you too, for you taking priority in school and being that student part of that student athlete statement, for you too, at which point did you know you wanted to continue going pro or at least go pro after college?
I knew that the day I came to college. I always wanted to.
Okay.
It was actually, it kind of stopped midway through college because, I started growing up like physically and mentally and realizing how much effort might take like uh as physically and financially, especially
Hmm.
financially. That was
Hmm.
the main thing that was kind of getting me not so motivated because I know
Hmm.
now, especially, I know how much it costs to just travel around
Yes.
without, food and hotel expenses.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
well,
no,
yeah,
I know, I agree. And to get that sense of reality kicked into you once you realize that after playing on the pro circuit and playing quote unquote at the lower levels, like these
yeah,
60Ks, 25Ks, the ITFs that still are good potential tournaments to win and to gain ranking points to get you into a spot. to go into qualifying for the US Open.
Yeah, for sure. I
Can,
mean, I didn't play one WTA event yet. I just got my points
yes.
from ITF events, and
Mhm.
which is huge because my first WTA event is gonna be US Open.
Oh, wow.
You know, you know,
Okay.
which is usually like you go through ITFs, then you play WTA like 125, then 250,
Mhm.
and you gain your ranking there as well. But I just kind of skipped that part before the US Open. So
Okay. That's
that
fair.
yeah, doesn't mean I'm not gonna play them. I'm gonna get back and play also WTA
Mhm.
tournaments.
Oh,
Can't wait for that because
obviously.
it's actual real tournaments that pay well. You know,
Mhm. No,
ITFs
it's
don't pay as much.
yeah. And
Yeah.
when we say 60K and 25K, for those who are not familiar with it, it's the 60K represents the total amount of purse for singles and doubles. So that's trickled down through every player, every team for each round that they win. So they're not winning 60K or 25K when they win the tournament. They're winning maybe
I can tell
20%
you
of that.
exactly how much.
You can tell me exactly how much. So for winning the
Yes,
60K, and
you get $9,000, but that's before tax. So
oh,
um,
wow.
after tax, I got so foreigners get 30% tax. So I got $6,000 for winning a 60K.
So you got 10% for winning the
30.
tournament. 30,
Oh
excuse
yeah,
me.
10% for winning the tournament. Yeah,
Yes.
30% taxed.
Okay. So you have more degrees than I do, but I may do math faster just a little bit. Really bad
Actually, you're
joke.
wrong then, no?
No, I'm right because it's 10 you with tax
Well, yeah,
9K
after tax. Yeah, after
after
tax, you're
tax.
right.
It's
Yeah, okay.
after tax. Okay. So agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
But for you too, understanding where you come from too, and this is a portion that everyone's familiar with and what's going on in your home country.
Hmm.
And it happened while you were still at Old Dominion, correct?
Yeah,
So
it was.
as a student
Yeah.
athlete, can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, of course. It was crazy. I remember getting the news and it was like during like a weekend when we had to play somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little hard. I couldn't sleep. Uh, couldn't sleep at that point. And but somehow I ended up having the best season of all five. I
Okay.
feel like that was like because my mind was so not focused on tennis
Mm-hmm.
that I just played not really putting any pressure on myself or thinking too much. I just went there, gave it all, and ended up being really good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, definitely was probably the hardest thing that the toughest thing that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but it's a bit better now. I got my sister to the US. She's right now on the team of Hampton University, which is next to ODU.
Oh,
I,
nice.
yeah, so that's nice. I have people around her because she
Okay,
was
good.
at that time she was in Ukraine when that started,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. And my parents have left,
Mm.
which is makes it much
Which
better, you know.
yeah, more peace of mind in
Yeah,
that
definitely,
retrospect. And
definitely.
how did you get your mindset with this going on? Was there something that you did, or was there this gave you more opportunity to focus and kind of put yourself into the right mindset to play?
It's such a hard question. I don't understand how I did that. Like I was
Okay.
thinking about it myself, and and you're not the first person to ask me as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I feel like I just actually didn't think about tennis. You know what I mean? It's like you just play not thinking, and that's when you play your best tennis.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does because it keeps you fluid. It keeps you
Yeah,
non
yeah,
hypersensitive to things that you may or may not be doing wrong. So it becomes one of those
yeah. It's like
situations
you're
where,
down in a match. You're down in the score in a match, but it doesn't really matter to you because there's so much
mhm.
bigger thing in your head that takes it away, you know? So you
So
just
you
play the
don't,
same way you would play, doesn't matter what the score, kind of.
and yeah. and keeping it simple and keeping it
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I still
reminding
like,
yourself.
yeah, I mean, I still gave it all. It's like, still played it for my team.
Hmm
I knew how important it was for my team and what it meant to get
hmm
into like NCAA at the end of the year. So like,
hmm
that was nothing like I felt bad for myself and trying to match.
hmm
That never happened. Yeah.
It's incredible because for I feel like there's so many distractions that can propel you to not play. And from everything going on in the news too, and what happened at Wimbledon, I feel as an outsider looking inwards, it's harder to understand what someone from Ukraine is going through and seeing your perspective because we're not we're not officially affected by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? We have tough people in Ukraine.
That's
So I guess
fair.
one of them, you know?
Yes, that's
We don't
fair.
feel bad for ourselves.
We don't feel bad for ourselves because you're
Yeah.
powering through it, which is I think a great mentality to have, at least for
Yeah.
you guys too. And you seem very positive, at least when it comes to talking about such a dark situation. Did it take a while to get to that point?
Um, yeah, I guess, yeah, but it always like you know at heart that like the Ukrainians are gonna be strong and we're gonna win at the end.
Hmm
But yeah, it's like people even there are trying to stay positive. So like in Ukraine being, under attack and everything. So why would you, feel bad for yourself being here and
hmm
be all negative about it?
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, you gotta
that's
also
fair.
show some positive support to people back home.
That's very true. I agree with that. And to kind of transition over to your game, kind of moving away from that, for you, how would you describe your game to people that haven't seen you play before?
I think I'm a very solid player that
Hmm
doesn't have huge up and downs in the game.
Okay.
Um, I would say I do have a weapon, but it doesn't really stand out big because I don't, as I said, I'm not up and down with it. So
hmm
yeah, I do like my forehand and I'm
Okay.
working on having like a bigger weapon. But
Okay.
overall, my game is like solid from every perspective, I would say. Like I feel like I could play anything. It's not like I have a huge weakness on any of my side, or
Okay.
I feel comfortable with slice, volleys, forehand,
Okay.
backhand. Yeah, you know what I
Did
mean?
you? Yes, I do. And for
Yeah.
you too, do you think you modeled your game after anyone, or did you take inspiration from anyone, or was it you generated everything from yourself and it's unique to you?
Um, I feel like I haven't really, to be completely honest, I haven't watched much tennis before I started
Really?
playing. Yeah. I'm not like I don't love watching sports on TV. I like watching it live, but not on TV. And I've never got the opportunity to go to any Grand Slams, which I
Okay.
will now.
Yes, now I get to watch the Grand Slam in the United States from inside the
Yeah,
stadium, from
it's like I watch
inside
myself. Yeah.
everything, which is fair. That's a very good point. That so you will get
Yeah,
that opportunity.
yeah, yeah. That is very nice. But yeah, I don't think I really like model anybody, but I do try to do certain things in my game, like
Okay.
being more aggressive and knowing the balance between when I need to stay solid and when I need to pick it up and actually go after the ball.
hmm
Yeah.
And
So that's yeah.
for you too, I kind of wanted to touch on that too, with you saying you don't watch that many live sports. Why would you say you don't watch a lot of tennis on TV?
I should be watching more. I agree. I should
That's a
be,
better answer.
but yeah. You know what? I play a lot of things myself, so it's hard to actually also watch it. so
That's
much.
fair.
But yeah, I try to watch my opponents before playing them since I don't
Hmm.
know many people on tour yet. I mean, I'm getting
Hmm.
to know now, but I watch them before playing and maybe writing down some things that I want to do during my match against them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how would you prepare for a match the day before? And especially when
Um,
you play someone that you've played before, because so to kind of process what I'm saying right now is how would you prepare for a match?
if I've played a person before, then I have, which I also have to get better at, is taking notes after the match. I usually do it before the match,
Okay.
but I will try it. So if I wrote down the notes about the person, I'll keep it in my notebook and take it out once I play them again.
Hmm.
Probably the same day I play them, unless I play them really early, then I'll reread it the day before. But
Okay.
yeah, and as well as waking up, I'll do my routine. I'll do 10 minutes of jumping rope or something that gets my heart beat.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then take a cold shower, coldish. Don't love a
Okay.
cold shower, just to wake up. So
Okay.
to be fully awake during my match.
Okay.
And then I'll go to the course, warm up, take my time writing down what I want to do during my match,
Hmm.
and try and follow those steps. Kind of as simple as that. I know a lot
That
of people don't do that.
no, it's interesting to hear how different people process or try to refocus into their match. And for you too, you mentioned a lot about writing your goals down or your what you're trying to
Yeah,
achieve. And do you read
yeah.
your notes on court?
Sometimes, yes. When I feel like I'm not focused or I'm not there, I
Hmm.
might leave it. I leave my notebook on the chair and just try and read it just to focus on one thing so my mind doesn't jump from one thought to another and just, kind of panicking on the court, which
Hmm.
happens to a lot of players just because when you're nervous or, not just in the right mindset, you need something
Hmm.
to focus on, and that helps.
For you, it sounds like you try to avoid saying when I get not focused on the court or when I get nervous. You jumped over that, so that was smart by you. Uh,
Well,
for
yeah, it's me.
yeah, for you too. When it comes to playing someone else too, it looking in June and July too, you ended up playing the same person twice. Uh, in you won the first, lost the second. What did you, in terms of that mindset, what did you take into one that you try to replicate in another?
Um, I tried to do the same thing that helped me win last time, but I feel like she came out a bit uh more like I would say hungry because she lost to me
Okay.
last time.
Okay.
And she really I could see she really wanted to win, and she went after her serves, and that day my serve wasn't great, so
Hmm.
her returns really played a huge role as well during our
Hmm.
match. So uh my poor job was returning his big serve. That
Hmm.
didn't help me, and my poor job serving that day also didn't help me. So I
Okay.
feel like that was the major two things that played a huge role in me
Hmm.
like losing that match. But yeah, once I got into a point, I knew like I was kind of the one to take charge of the point, but
Hmm.
struggling so much with her big serve or big return that was didn't give me much opportunity to get into the actual point.
Hmm.
It was a lot of free points for her and not many free points for me.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
I think that's a good analyzation. Being one, you're being a pro tennis player and you know what you're doing. And two, because it shows what goes into each match that a player needs to do and what they may not need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Yeah.
final every final you've played too has gone 3 sets except for one. And is there a
Really?
reason for that?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Is
I'm
there a reason for
flipping.
that? Or you just like to play for a really long time?
No, I just check out on the quad, I think. Like, yeah, it's honestly it's just the right mindset. Like you let yourself go, your thoughts go for a little bit, and
Mhm.
you're done two games, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so, and now they're rolling, and now you can't get back into the set.
Mm-hmm.
And bad players don't make it to the final, so you can't let them roll. You
Yeah.
can't let them have 3 points, or you can't really check out during the match, which I have trouble sometimes. I'm getting
Okay.
better.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, at least you're admitting your mistakes before you can
yeah,
overcome them.
yeah. So I feel like that's mostly my mistake, just letting myself not relax, but kind of taking my foot off the gas.
Hmm.
Thinking they're gonna give it to me, and that's not happening. So then I have to pick it up again and do it myself.
Yeah,
It's like, why do you do that?
which is the right thing to do, and a lot of people don't understand that you have to keep doing that. Not a lot of people understand that even when you teach in a country club setting or even in a professional setting, once you give them an inch, they're going to go for a mile. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't let them breathe.
no, you can't, because then it just becomes worse and worse for you.
Yeah, and then you are joking.
Well, no one's choking here,
So,
so we're good. We're just going to keep that out of everything. And I think before you go, and thank you again for doing this, Yulia, I really do appreciate it. Before you go, what's your goal for the end of 2023, or what's your goal by the end of the season?
I would love to make it to main draw of Australian Open.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make me play some more WTA tournaments, which give me a lot of points.
Hmm.
And that would be a good start after the US Open. I'm gonna look more into the not ITF tournaments, but WTA, since my ranking would let me do that now.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm excited about it as well because you get, it's a bigger paycheck as well. Makes it
Yes,
easier to travel.
which is fair,
Yeah,
which is the reality of tennis.
yeah. So I think I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. I know I did well, and my body feels already a bit tired after this half a year.
Well, you've
Um,
played nonstop since March.
yeah. So
So
I might take some time off after US Open and then get back and try to get as many points as I can to get into the main draw Australian Open.
perfect. I love that. Well, Yulia, thank you again for joining us. If you want to follow Yulia and her journey, please make sure to go follow in the description below. And for our listeners slash viewers, can you pronounce your last name for us?
Sure, it's Starodubtseva.
Starodubtseva. Okay, that was
Very
not as
good.
that
No, that
was
was good.
that was not as bad as I thought it would be. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But thank you again for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. And for those that are listening slash watching, make sure to follow her and her journey, because it's going to be a really fun one to follow. So thank you again, guys, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.